Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good wherever you are in the world. Thank you very much for joining me for another end of the week treat. This time we going back to a bit of a classic. Now, those of you might recognize this game. It's a bit of an old one, but not a lot of people are aware of the project. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with this, it's a game known simply as Transport Tycoon. It was a game that came out many moons ago, and it's one of those games that you start playing, and then suddenly it's a week later. You start playing on Friday, and then before you know it, it's actually Monday. You can get very soaked into this game very easily. The concept is nice and simple. Quite easily, you are a transport tycoon. The idea being is that you become a master of trains, planes, and automobiles. As you can kind of see in the background here on the loading screen, you've got ships, you've got ferries, you've got hovercrafts, you've got trains, you've got buses going around, you've got cars in towns. It's a very simple game. But Open TTD, Open Transport Tycoon Deluxe, was remade and is still maintained to this day as an open source game. And some of the graphics have been updated. If you go into these game options, there are several different types of graphic choices that you can choose. You can go back to the original graphics for the game if you wish. Or you can go for these updated graphics, which is the ones I'm using at the moment. Now, the original Transport Tycoon only had this one visual, like the type that you're seeing in the background. But when Transport Tycoon Deluxe came along, it gave you the choices of 3 other environments as well. So it's exactly the same game, except you can have an environment that's snowy-based, desert-based, or this one's kind of like, well, as you can see, it's called Toyland. So it's a little bit more like if Disneyland was to rule the world. Is basically the way it looks. It starts off in the 1940s, 1950s, depending on the type of game that you're playing, and the natural evolution of things, it follows generally like the rules of the modern world. So, for example, you had steam engines, and then diesel engines were invented, electric engines, so on and so forth. Same with the plane development. You get your basic helicopters. Planes, your jumbo jets are developed later on. You can start off with like hot air balloons, which then later become helicopters, for example. You can see there's a plane coming along here. Eventually, like I think of the year, so bearing in mind, I think this game was made in the 80s or the 90s originally. Oh, no, I'm going to say the 90s. I think it was made in the 90s. Like the concept of maglev trains, for example, was like, it was a plausible thing back then. So maglev trains are an option in this game from the year 2000 onwards. But yeah, I mean, I could talk about it forever instead of, actually playing it. But so let's just go over what we see here. Now, the Transport Tycoon Deluxe, the open version, there is, lots and lots of customization for it. So you can check online content. So if you give it a few seconds, it will just connect to the web, and you can choose your own customizations. You can see there's loads of different options. You can see there's a couple of options I have already installed. This is just to give you guys an idea of just the couple of options in the game. For example, there's a simple AI, so I've got a simple opponent, just to give you an idea of what it's like to play against somebody else. The updated graphics are in here. There's a whole load of maps in here. For example, Westeros has been added, which is probably going to be the one I play. For those of you that know Game of Thrones, that is the world of Game of Thrones, essentially. You can generate completely new games, so you can choose like a 4K map here. You can generate your own town, so you can randomly generate an entire world. In fact, let's just do that while I'm talking about it. It will load up the environment for you. Here we go. World generation, generating landscape. Yes, the music that you can hear in the background as well. I have put the music on very low. I'll turn it up a little bit once I start playing. But the music is also completely open source, so there's several different voices that have been, several different audio tracks that have been made freely available. And I'm just happened to have chosen one of them, and it's just playing in the background. But as you can see here, it's slowly generating the world. It's creating the towns right in front of me. It looks like I'm in like a desert area at the moment. It's now generating industries. So your main kind of transporting-ness in the game is you're given a loan of 200,000, we'll call it pounds at the start, and your objective is to invest that money into a form of transportation, pay the money back, and then start your own business, basically. Whether that be transporting people from town to town, or whether that be transporting equipment from one industry to another, depending on whatever the world needs. It's your job to find what those needs are and fulfill those needs. In towns, you can quite simply do like what most modern day towns do, and you could have, you know, a bus stop at one end of town and a bus stop at the other end of town, and just ferry people from one end of town to the other. In towns like this 292, the number on the end here is just gives you a rough idea of the population of the town. So, for example, this area called Foningpool over here, you're going to get more business out of there, or more passengers out of a bigger town than you are out of a smaller town. But then I could develop a road between these two towns and actually create bus stops between the two towns, so I could ferry people to and from the two towns. So I'd get, you know, increasing in populations in both towns, and I'd probably get more money. The general rule of thumb is the greater the distance, the more money you're going to generate, but you have to remember there are perishables as well. Let's just pause it. There are perishables in the game, so sometimes materials will degrade, depending on if they have to go huge distances and you don't get them there fast enough. Let's zoom out a little bit. I have to be a little bit careful because on a 4K map, it can be a little bit scary in terms of the performance required to fulfill it. But as you can see here, it has generated a map. It has created almost like a desert mode with a couple of oases, yes, a couple of oases, so you could, you know, run a ferry service through some of these towns from here to here, for example. It's generated a few industries. Got a kiln, coal mine, glassworks. So it's quite simple concept. You know, it's a case of supply and demand. We got fish, more fish. And then towns, for example, will need food, which they'll get from fish. You've got a terminal, so produces farm supplies and chemicals, but it requires clay and food to produce those. So it's a case of figuring out chains as well. So sometimes this building, for example, if I was to build a railway to it, it would have 4 ports. It would have, you know, one train coming in with clay, one train coming in with food, then it'd have one train leaving with farm supplies, and one train leaving with chemicals. It might even end up having things like labor being moved to and from it as well. So, you know, people from the local town will be taken to the port, and people from the port will be taken back to town. Quite simple. But yeah, this is just the map generation, randomly generating a layout for me. You can see it's fairly good in terms of its distribution. It's got a nice wide variety of different things. I like the little tree generation around the oasis. Seems to be pretty close. It's generated a few cactuses out in the middle of the desert, which is a nice little touch as well. Let's have a look at the biggest world it's generated. Town directory. Sort by population. Round the other way. Nope, round the other way. Round the other way. How do I do it round the other way? Round the other way. So Kelney is the biggest here, so 3,000. So I should probably connect this town with this town with this town, so I've got people moving through to the 3 towns, and it'll generate me the most money. Anyway, I'm not going to play this one. I am determined to play the Game of Thrones one. I haven't played it before, so I don't know what it will look like. So the scenarios and the height maps are, as you can see here, start a new game using a height map as a landscape, start a new game using a customized scenario. These are just ones that people have created in the community. The same with the height maps. Now, the height maps are a little bit different in the sense that they are scenario based. So, which is funny considering the other ones are actually called scenarios. So you generate a height map, and it will just be a randomly generated map, but it will be focused in something in particular. So, for example, if I choose one of Scotland, it might be entirely Scottish towns, names, Scottish ships, Scottish trains, you name it, it'll be something Scottish. Scenarios are ones created by the community and are using a set of mods that have been created by the community. So I've got a 2K map here for Game of Thrones, so let's load that. So here we are, the map for Game of Thrones. So we have the North, the land of always winter. It's even been labelled. Look at that. That's perfect. Craster's Keep, Castle Black. Here we go. So we've got the wall, as it's labelled here, the wall, which is a nice big snowy wall. We have Eastwatch. We have Shadow Tower, Bay of Ice, Bear Island. Oh, this is brilliant. So we have Deepwood Motte, Winterfell, 3,942. That's quite a lot for Winterfell. Let's go have a look down at King's Landing. King's Landing's at 5,000. Wow, there we go. So King's Landing at the moment isn't growing. It needs a supply of food, essentially, to make it grow. So sure enough, there is actually a plant here, fertilizer plant, but it needs chemicals, and it will choose farm supplies. So one good tip for the start of, if you ever play Transport Tycoon, if you ever know, you can actually construct and do a lot while it's paused. So it does work. You know, there are basic economics for running costs and things. You have essentially borrowed your first 200,000, and you will start paying interest on it. So playing the game paused at the beginning is always a good move. You won't start generating any money, but you can freely construct while on pause. So the great way to do this is just kind of have a look around the map, look at where things are, look at where you could possibly make some money, and then, you know, start making plans, really. So at the moment, let's have a look, see if we can find any towns. In fact, I don't know, like, I watched Game of Thrones, but I don't know the maps well enough to know if there are actually any towns that are close-ish together. Nor do I know the implications of putting two potentially rivaling worlds next to each other. So, like, Quarth at the moment is a nice one, perhaps maybe on for when I develop ships later on. Cool Trees Town, the Summer Islands. The Summer Islands, I can't see me doing much over here because there's not a whole lot of anything. There is trees, fruit production, producing fruit. Great. That's no good. So let's have a look. We've got a farm here producing grain and sugar beets. We've got a farm here producing livestock and plant fibers. So these guys needed chemicals, and they produced. They require farm supplies. They require chemicals to make farm supplies. Okay, so we've got a chain there. We need to find somewhere that produces chemicals. Is there anywhere around here? Requires farm supplies, produces wood. So let's have a look for anything that produces chemicals. Is there anything visually that we can see? Stone dance, sharp point. Oh, what's this one? Aha! Oh no, requires chemicals. There's a big demand for chemicals, at least. Cement plant. I got all excited. I thought it was a chemical plant. So the other thing you can do is use the map of the world. You can also tell it to show you industries. So we can have a look on here for chemical plants. So chemical plants, chemicals. Where are we? Chemicals. Fertilizer plant, maybe? No, the fertilizer plant requires chemicals. Plastics plant will require chemicals as well. I wonder what produces chemicals then. Display chain. So Look at this. This is crazy. To produce chemicals, you need lime, you need an oil refinery, and you need a biorefinery. The chains on these things can be absolutely massive. So it can, you know, it's a good thing because it means that everything needs something and something needs something. So you can, you're always busy with looking at something. Everyone wants something and you can supply it. So let's have a look. Chemicals. Fertilizer plant, plastics plant, paper mill, metal workshop, metal fabrications, timber yard. So I need a biorefinery, an oil refinery, or a lime kiln. So let's turn this on, disable all. Then chemical producers are lime kilns. Let's turn on lime kilns. Lime kilns. Oil refineries. So O for oil, O, oil refineries, and biorefineries. Biorefineries. So is there any of them? Oh, we've got one here. What's this? We have a lime kiln producing chemicals, but it requires stone and coal. Right, okay. So this is probably the closest, but it is kind of out in the middle of an island, which can be a little bit problematic. I think it's going to be worth it because of the amount of potential work in the future with chemical plants. So let's have a look here. So this now requires stone and coal. So I need a quarry or a dredging site. So let's turn off, let's keep lime kiln turn on. And let's turn on quarry. Quarry. And dredging sites. Dredging sites. There we go. So did I see anything pop up there? Turn it off and turn it on. Ah, so we've got a couple of sites. We've got one down here. And we've got one up here. Okay. And what about quarries? We've got any quarries in range? Nothing I can see. Quarries are orange. So I think this is going to be my best bet. Oh, coal mines as well. Coal mines. So I've got a coal mine over here. Yeah, I've got a coal mine by Tarth. It requires engineering supplies. Yikes. Okay. What do you need for engineering supplies? You need a smithy, forge, machine shop, timber yard. Now, it will produce coal regardless. As you can see here, some things... So, like, coal mines will produce coal regardless of whatever happens. But you can double the production or quadruple the production if you get engineering supplies to them. So, as much as it will be handy to get materials to them, at the moment, it's not really feasible for me as a startup company. So what I might do as a startup company is perhaps not look at material production. If I just look at people for now, can I get two towns close to each other? These guys, Mistwood and Weeping Tower, are fairly close together. It might be a good option for me to start off with. Let us have a look around. Is there anything else? Hold Anchor and Gulltown's pretty close together. The Twins is pretty good. Ooh. Ah, no. Pike, the Iron Islands have got their own names, but they're certainly their own independent islands. Ooh, Castle Rock and Faircastle are pretty good. Ooh, Old Town, Three Towers, and Black Crown. See, now I think developing over here is going to be a good move, if I can, because it's going to put me in good favor with the local governments. See, look, there's a nice little route there as well. Sunspear to Lemonwood. It's not going to be huge amounts of money. Let's have a look at town directory. So, Quarth is actually the biggest place on the map, but it's kind of isolated. There's no real towns near it. King's Landing is kind of the same. There's King's Landing and then nothing else really near it. There's towns over here, but that's it. How about Winterfell? Winterfell? Again, Winterfell is kind of on its own. Core. Core is also suffering from the same problem. Norvos. Yep. Marine. Oh, Marine's kind of close to Yunkai. So I might go to Marine. Voltanis? Oh, Voltanis is a good option as well. Because that's a nice big town up there. So I think I might actually go with Voltanis. Because I can make a bridge across here and service these two, and then make a road down to here and connect these three up. I could also then Valsiar, the Sorrows, they're nice. Oh, and Core at the end. So I could eventually introduce boats along here, going all the way up to Core and down to Voltanis. That would be a nice option. We've got a ferry port, fishing harbour down here. So let's get investing. So we'll do roads. We've got 200,000. Let's get a road. Let's get a bridge first of all between here and here. We'll start developing routes between here. We don't have to worry hugely about speed at the beginning, so let's have a look. Available vehicles. It's funny just thinking of buses in the world of Westeros, but hey, we're going to have to do it anyway. So the maximum speed on these things is 56 kilometers an hour, so we'll design it with a little bit of future in mind. We'll go suspension steel. There's not a huge price difference between concrete and steel, so even suspension steel actually. So we'll go to suspension steel here for 112. So it's got a little bit of future proofing in it. As you can see, these were developed in 1929, and the current year is the 25th of January 1945. So we might get something new coming soon anyway. Oh, not allowed to build bridges while paused. There we go. Build bridge. Pause. Will it let me build roads? No, it won't. Okay. Let's think about this. So the way you develop these roads as well, you have to think about the way that you're going up and down. So the simple mechanics, the simple physics work on this game in the sense that if you go down a hill, you go faster in the vehicle. If you go up a hill, you go slower in the vehicle. But you have to also bear in mind that this town might expand, so you kind of need to place things a little bit strategically. Because they might expand around your whatever it is you're building. So obviously the closer you are to the middle of town, the more likely is you're going to get more people there. So, for example, building this here is going to give me the most amount of people, I think, at the moment. So let's stick a bus station in here. And then we'll stick a bus station in probably over... maybe here? Can I drop the land a little bit? Landscaping. Drop the land. No, I can't because I'm going to not wipe out that house, I think. Maybe something like here. Yeah, let's go there. So we've got two little bus stations. And let's connect the road up. Now, we don't want to go down and then up again. So... let's go forward, forward, forward. Connect up to here. We'll go down here, around the corner, and connect these two. So there we go. We're now connected between two towns. We've only spent 10,000 doing that, so let's connect up over here. It's going to be a bit of a... We're not going to build a huge amount of bridges. We'll try and keep it fairly flat. So we might change the actual environment a little bit as we're going along here. Or a tunnel. We got a little tunnel down here? Yeah, let's go for a little tunnel through here. Bring this land up a little bit. And back down a little bit. Let's build this road. By all means, you know, tell me, for those of you that are experienced in Game of Thrones lore, by all means, if I am doing something wicked to the actual game story here by linking these towns together, feel free to put me in my place. Because for all I know, as I say, I have watched the series, but, you know, I'm aware of the story, and I I've read the books, but there could be more lore involved than I'm aware of. And I've just joined together mortal enemies, but as far as I'm aware, I'm doing okay here. So let's put another bus station in over here. Again, oh look, there's a nice little spot there in the middle of town. Brilliant. So we now have 3 bus stations. Let's get some bus depots. We'll put it out here in the kind of middle of nowhere. That way we don't have to worry about it. Oh, we've lost a building. Huh. Right. Okay. So Star Melt, new vehicles. We'll get 3 buses for now. 10,000 of each bus. Now we need to issue it some orders. So we'll have 1 bus going from here to here. So they'll go literally from one stop to the other. Go. Okay, these guys can go from over here to over here. And these guys can also go from over here down to here. So that is all the routes now covered. Simple triangle. And as you can see, I don't know why I've just decided to be pink, but I have decided to be pink. One thing you can do is you can set up the way that you look if you like. At the moment, I've just got the bog standard face. You know, you can cycle through to see some very, very horrifying, nightmare-fueled pictures. The name's Agent Smith. You can set that. You can set a color scheme, so you can change your livery. So at the moment I got pink. I'm going to want red buses. I want red buses. There we go. I'm now red. Citizens celebrate the first bus arriving. Brilliant. You can also build your own headquarters. So as I built the first things here at Voltanis, I'm actually going to build my headquarters here. So let's stick my headquarters just here, I think. There we go. And then as my company develops, at the moment I'm basically in a shack. As it develops, I'll be able to update my headquarters. Well, it'll update itself, basically. I could change my name. So at the moment it's Demer. Get it? Demer. I could call myself Henry Winkelstein. Sounds like something out of Game of Thrones. Let's go with that. And the company name I'm going to call the Voltanis Collective. There we go. Sounds like that name should belong somewhere else, maybe in space. First citizens have arrived. So look, if we click here, as you can see, look, we got 71 passengers waiting here already. These guys have got 1 passenger, and these guys have got 5 passengers. So immediately, look at the rate this is going up at 72 passengers. I'm actually going to build another 2 vehicles. And I'm just going to issue them commands to go to here. And then go to here. So that's the shortest possible route to get rid of these people. Go to here. And then go to here. Go. So how many passengers can these guys take? They can take 31 passengers. So already I've got enough people here for 3, 6, 9, 12, or 4 buses already. Really. So here we go. Unloading. And I've made £832. Or euros, apparently. And now he's just loaded up. There's now 100 passengers now remaining. So that bus is now leaving. Was leaving. Oh, it's broken down. Oh dear. I forgot that that was a thing in this game. The old vehicles, unfortunately, do suffer from breaking down. Which just means they will stop every now and then. They'll be broken down for repairs, and then they will be repaired and start going again. It's just a way of the game making you upgrade to the latest and greatest of vehicles technology. You can actually set the commands, the settings within the game to actually turn off being broken down, so they just won't break down. But I decided to leave it on for now. So these guys are already loaded up, and there's still 53 passengers remaining. So this might end up being a route that I end up changing into a train station, maybe. Because it seems that it will be... Let's repay some of this money, actually. It seems like it'll be a fairly profitable route to run. So as you can see at the moment, it does give me a breakdown of my costs. So I've spent 27,000 on construction. I spent 50,000 on new vehicles. My running costs for my vehicles at the moment is 1,000. It will constantly go up until the year is over. The property maintenance for my wonderful headquarters, along with the actual bus stations, moment has been 1,720. At the moment, my vehicles are running at 1,330, so they're kind of covering their operational costs. Well, I made 1,400 from that run there. And this one will make another, same again. Another 1,442. So the money I'm making here at the moment, as you see, it's 4,000. So it still actually warrants me buying more vehicles again. So I'm actually going to buy another 2 buses, and I'm going to use the clone command this time. So I'm going to go to here, then go to here, and I'm going to... Oh, I already purchased the vehicle. Never mind. You can get them to clone the clone the vehicle, so you don't have to re-enter the commands in every time. I've just done it for demonstration purposes. There we go, and get going, and you get going. You have to keep an eye on it a little bit at times, because the bus stations at the moment, well, mostly throughout the entire game, can only take two vehicles at once, and then they're stuck with people loading and unloading. So you have to kind of make sure that all the vehicles don't turn up at once. So at the moment, there's going to be 2 buses. So that 1 bus is left. You can have 2 buses at once. I think this guy's probably going to be leaving by the time that this last bus arrives. Obviously, you can see there is a little bit of a loading time, so you have to kind of bear that in mind. Let's see how this guy does. This guy's going to unload. Loading up. And... let's turn up the game volume a little bit as well. No, we actually had a collision of the buses there. Right. He's now loading. Now I've got good passengers here. So they're still going nicely. Let's have a look at the money we're looking. 8,000. Okay. That music is really quite loud. How are we looking? How are we looking? Speed it up a little bit. The game literally has 2 settings. Normal speed, fast speed. So I am actually making money out of this. The passengers are still continuing to grow. Oh, I could do with another. I think I could do, if I get another 2 buses, I can afford another 1 now. So let's go for another 1 now. And let's go do the route again. Go to here, then go to, in fact, let's take this one to here. Go. The amount of passengers that are here is new company. My new competitor has arrived. The amount of passengers that are here, look, there we go. For the first time, it's actually empty. 19, 20, still loading up. 23, 50. Yeah, it's still warranting me getting coaches. So let's go for 1 more. Go to here. And we'll go to here. Go. In fact, no, let's not go there. Let's also go to there. Good. In an ideal world, we want no passengers here at all. And there's 13, 20, 30, 40. It's actually encouraging this town to grow. As you can see, it's actually developing by itself with the amount of passengers that I'm taking to and from the town. As you see, the number is changing here. Look, 600, 700. So, sorry, I think it was 612. As I'm taking people to and from the towns. That's a nice little touch. Oh, we have a timber yard here. Requires timber and chemicals. Interesting. So that's a nice one for future production. So we're making money. Repay. Subsidy offered. Oh, new company. Subsidy offered. First passenger from Valsir Valon to Valon. Oh, that could be a nice one. Let's try and go for that. We can. Let's borrow back some of that money. We can borrow up to 200,000. So let's put a road between these two towns. So we've got another destination we can add. So here we go. It's a fairly nice run between there. It's nice and straight. We'll stick that in there. There we go. And then we'll come up here. And we'll join this together here. Wash. That could be. This is going to be a nice potential train route later on, I think. We could do a multi-station one, going to several different of these towns. I think as it's on the water, I think it would be a nice one to develop perhaps as a ferry. But, you know, small beginnings. We start off with trucks, and then we'll move on to trains, and then boats, and then planes. Let's have a look. So, where's fairly close to the middle of town? Is there anywhere? There isn't really anywhere that's super close to the middle of town. Let's go up here. I think it's going to be best. Maybe here? No, let's go here. So there we go. We have a new bus station. So let's get some new. We'll get 2 new vehicles. No, we've got 3. So we'll go 1 to here. And then down to here. There you go. You can go to here. And then go to down here. And then you can go to here. And then go to here. I think, did I just do all of them? Volon. Sarmel, yep. And Voltanis, yeah. That's all of them, isn't it? Go and go. Nice selection of vehicles. Look at my buses are flowing beautifully. There's a smithy forge here. Oh, it produces engineering supplies and farm supplies, which were other things we were looking at earlier on, which may come in use, but it requires metal. Is there any? Oh, look, there's a chemical plant here as well. An oil refinery requires oil. Is there any actual oil? Any oil production around here? Oil is always a nice money maker. Let's have a quick look at the map in case I'm just being blind. Oil rigs and oil wells. Anything? Oil wells. Nothing I can see. Oil rigs? No, nothing particularly. Unfortunately, there's another difficult industry for me to connect up because there is nothing around here for industry. Citizens celebrate first bus arrives. Brilliant. One thing I have noticed that it was a problem that the Transport Tycoon games suffered from was invariably passengers wouldn't start arriving at this bus stop until they actually had the first bus arrive. So that bus has now arrived, and I bet he's actually probably empty. Yeah, he's actually empty. But as you can see, immediately after he left, passengers started arriving at the bus stop. We now have 3 buses arriving to take all the passengers. Okay, we are back now with a little bit more Transport Tycoon. Now, this time, I've actually just continued playing, because as you can imagine from that first video, or the first part of this video, I should say, it's very much an overtime game. And the year is now 2014. We're almost up to date to our current year. And I've just progress things along. As you can see, I'm now worth 1.8 billion, million, 100,000 million billion, 1.8 billion. There we go. We have 2 competitors now, which is Phillips & Co. and Murphy & Co. One worth 186 million and one worth 56 million. One of them kind of encroaching on my little towns that I've been expanding. I did continue my focus over here in Voltanis. It is continuing to grow at a rate of every 2 days, so the city is continuing to expand. I'm bringing in a lot of oil. As you can see, I've got an airport here set up pretty much primarily for oil, and it has huge amounts of people waiting for things to happen. Now, I can't really expand this any further. I've got trucks going in and out all along here. I've got trains coming in here, and I've got planes coming in here. The only other thing I could add is maybe boats along here as well. But it is a little bit on the excessive side for the time being. I'm moving goods. I'm moving chemicals that are being produced over here to here, which in turn is giving me goods and manufacturing supplies. So I'm then moving the goods and manufacturing supplies from in here to this city here, this city here, this city here, and this city here, which is making them also grow. They're growing at different rates. The further they are away generally from the point that I'm supplying them, the slower they are. So I've got 53 days. This city up here is growing. Then this one's growing, okay, every 71 days. And this one here every 38 days. And as we saw before, Voltanis is growing every 2 days at the moment. Why is this one so much slower? I must have a look at that in a minute. Oh, because I'm not supplying goods here. Is it up here I'm supplying it? Yeah, it's up here I'm supplying it. So this one is also every 71 days. Let's fix that, shall we? Fund new buildings. And we're going to buy executive transport rights, because why not? Now, what this screen does is, now, for every city that you are, you can have advertising campaigns, as you can see here. So you can encourage more people to use your services. There is a hotel here, so I'm getting quite a large amount of passengers. So I've got an airport here, a train station, and a bus station. So even with a large advertising campaign, it's going to pump up these numbers even more. The ratings, as you can see, I'm moving passengers very quickly, I'm moving mail very quickly, and I'm moving food very quickly, so they're all rated very, very high. The other options you can do on here are, the ratings I should explain. The higher these ratings, the more money you're going to get per person. It roughly works out that it's based around their waiting time and the volume of people. So if these 800 people were waiting, a few, what would actually be days in the game to be transported, then this rating will slowly go down. If you're constantly moving them, so as you can see, the passengers have almost completely gone now with the planes arriving and trains arriving. The rating stays high, so the value per passenger also goes up. So, going back to this. You can fund new buildings, so you can encourage the growth. You can see here, it's now every 29 days that the town expands. Obviously, if the town expands, it means that you're going to have more passengers, more mail. So it's a long-term investment. The other options here are buy transport rights. Now, as you can see, there is Phillips & Co. here and me. They're both rated as outstanding, so he's probably got, he's got a fair few passengers that I could be stealing, which is what is essentially what I've just done. Buying exclusive transport rights means all the passengers that would be going to this guy are now going to go to me for a year. So it's also a great way to kind of put your opponent out of business, because you're removing all of their potential revenue stream. So very good, outstanding. So I'm actually going to buy exclusive transport rights here. So again, the passengers that are being moved from here to here, aren't going to be making any money because he's not going to get any more. I'm going to fund the growth there. And by the looks of it, he's also moving people to Star Mel here. So let's also buy exclusive transport rights here. It's quite expensive, 1.9 million, but when you're generating as much money as I am now, it's not really much of an issue. Now, things have developed a little bit more as before. I was just working on the buses in this area. I now have buses, I now have trucks, I now have boats, and planes. The planes are going from this airport. I've got a tiny little airport here. Whee! And then I've got another airport further up here. I've got one here, which we saw was moving people. And then I've got a larger one here, which is getting huge volumes of people. So I'm moving people up and down along this line. As you can see, I've got one train line now going all the way along here. I've actually moved most of my trains now from a rail and diesel to electric monorails. The trains are considerably faster, and because they are faster, they generate more money per trip. They also have greater amounts of horsepower, so they can deal with going up and down inclines and declines a lot easier. Whee! As you can see, it moves considerably faster, 337 kilometers an hour. I've also built quite an interesting infrastructure here for getting the oil to here. The closest oil depot when I started building up around this city is oil's another great money earner. As you can see, I have made quite possibly the biggest rail line I've ever made in this game. Going from a set of oil wells here to all the way along here, all the way over here, all the way up here, and here. Yeah, it's quite a distance. But then, by the time I finished that, as per usual with my luck, another oil well opened up just along here somewhere, I think it is. Whereabouts is it? I think it's over here, actually. Oh, and there's a forest now under construction there. There's another oil well opened up here. So I opened up another few lines here, and I've just noticed there's another oil well opened further along up here somewhere, I think it was. There's another, there we go, there's another oil well opened up here. So I may consolidate it down a little bit more. At the moment, the trains are still making a fair whack of money. At the moment, they're making a profit of, well, so far this year it was 412,000. Last year it was 1.2 million. So they are certainly making their money. Not to mention the fact that the amount of growth is giving Voltanis, because of the chain that's been set up here, is quite considerable. I've set up a couple more airports down here as well. I've implemented a few fast planes and a few large volume planes. Oh, these ones are just moving some of the chemicals from the petrol station. Yeah, there's an airport here. This one's more of a drop-off rather than a pickup, because this town isn't huge. I could fund its growth, actually. Fund new buildings. Let's do that. To try and encourage more people to use my airport here, but there's not huge amounts of people. As you can see, it's 99%. It's outstanding because they only gave me 19 passengers last month, and I moved all 19 of them. So it's a fairly quiet little town. But these ones down here are ones that have grown considerably. Mirror and exchange. As you can see, I've got a considerable amount of aircraft here already, and there's still 3,000 passengers waiting to move. And there we go. My monthly supply is actually quite poor here because I'm still not getting enough planes out from here to satisfy the local town. What are my ratings down here? Very good. I think I might, let's just, while we're talking about it, let's set up another plane. So I've got transparency turned on at the moment. It just helps seeing around the cities. So let's just turn these off. So there you go. There's the city and the local woodlands now. You can see it in its full wonderful glory. It has certainly grown up to be a modern, as you can see, the modern structures here in the year 2000. Now, 2000 was the year that gave me the access to monorail trains. So I had transferred most of my old steam and diesel trains across to electric monorails. Let's sort this by cargo capacity. So 400 passengers. Let's use some of these, shall we? So we'll go new aircraft. We'll go Dinger 200s. We'll tell him to load up here, and we'll tell him to unload over here. And we'll clone him, we'll just make another one. And we'll set them off. So they're going to go down to there and load that one. And I think I've got another... Have I got another airport around? So we did just up this airport. Did we get any more? No, we haven't got any more people out there yet. That one I think is not going to grow for a little while yet. We have got another airport down here in... I think this is another one of those major cities in the game, in the books and the movie. Quarth. Quarth is growing. As you can see, it's quite considerable size airport. 14,000 people, and it's not growing. Can we fund its growth? Fund new buildings. There it goes. Building every 5 days now. I think the town needs resources being brought to it, and it's not being brought to it at the moment, so it's not growing. So I'm going to have to look at supplying some of those resources. But there's enough people here for me to warrant a couple more aircraft to go from here. These ones are quite slow aircraft, so it's not going to hurt me to buy a couple of them, because the time in transit, the airport's just going to refill full of people. So it's not going to hurt to fill it. Mirror and exchange. So how many people have we got at Quarth at the moment? We've got 600. These take 400. So let's just go. Let's go 2. That'll do. At the moment, it's just trying to get people out of Quarth. Out of Mirror and Exchange and into somewhere else that has the kind of volumes of people that Mirror and Exchange currently has. I don't think this one is being serviced relatively well. How about Core Valley? Core Valley I could probably do with. What are the ratings? They're good, so they could be better. I'm a bit limited to my airport size here, so I'm kind of reached my limit. You can see I've got 4 planes waiting to land, and this 5th one? Nope. I've got 4 planes waiting to land at the moment. Because of the kind of size of the airport, you're kind of limited just to the flow of people in and out of the airport. You're restricted in size of airports at the start of the game as well. The bigger airports don't become available until later on in the game, so kind of now. As you can see here, but the size that they take up is considerable compared to these smaller little airports. See, there's still, there's 4 aircraft sitting in the hangar here. So I think that's not, as much as there are huge volumes of people to be moved from there, it's not really a practical airport for me to use right now, because I can't expand it, I can't make it any bigger. Oh, look, there's a nice one. So let's put some more aircraft here. I'm actually going to change this type of airport, because this is an old type of airport, because it's only got 1 runway. And there's plenty of room there for me to expand out, so we'll make the most of that, and we will use that to deploy one of the larger airports. The game that I'm on at the moment, the map is a 4K map. It's huge. So when I zoom out, for some reason it goes really, really, really slow, because it has to load so many things onto the map. So if you zoom in a little bit and then zoom back out again, it handles it a lot better. So let's clone the aircraft here. So how many were at this one? 400. So let's just do 2 for now. So you guys can go. Let's go back to these guys. Once these guys have loaded up, I'm going to close the airport and just expand it. But before I do, it kind of is in a little valley kind of thing here. So let's adjust the landscape around. So how big do we have to go again? We need to go... Wow, we need to go out quite far. We need to go out to like here. Let's bring this down. Yonk. And I'm going to have to destroy part of the city here, I think, to fit in the airport. Yeah, I'm going to have to destroy the road here, I think. Sorry, guys. It means the town's not going to like me for a little while, but at the end of the day, they're going to like me for it in the long run. I have to destroy this guy's house, sorry. Let's close the airport now. Close the airport. this guy loads up. The closing the airport just stops anyone else from landing, which is just the easier way to get everyone out of there. Oh, we missed a spot just here. So we can now destroy this airport and immediately replace it with a bigger airport. And then the airport is immediately reopened. So this airport is now capable of dealing with larger volumes of planes. So I've got no problems now with scheduling planes to here. Now, this one is also conveniently close to King's Landing. King's Landing, of course, another big city, and has a huge population of people. Local authority, fun new buildings and bikes, exclusive transport rights. So King's Landing has another big airport, which is great because that means I have a new option for getting people to and from here. Now I've just developed a larger airport down here, so let's set up a new airline down here as well. Zoom in a little bit. So here we go, to here. So I've got 800 passengers. These take 400. So let's go 3 of these and start them all off. Go. King's Landing has got 1,000 passengers at it. Let's see how this looks now after with the 3. So look, even with I've got 3 aircraft loading up here, 4 aircraft now. I've got 1 waiting to load up. See, even with people loading and unloading, it's just I can't move the sheer volumes of people that are here. Ratings. See, it's still very good though, so I am managing it. It could be better, but it could also be considerably worse. So I'm kind of at a nice little happy medium right now. What's this? That's a fertilizer plant, needs chemicals. Ah, interesting. I've got large volumes of planes moving chemicals. What does it give me in return? It gives me farm supplies. Have I got anywhere nearby that need... Oh, look, there's a farm here. Huh. That's a nice possible link. I could get farm supplies here and then supply the little farm here. What's this as well? Recyclables. Ooh, okay. How's this looking now? Oh, we've almost cleared them. 100 passengers. So the rating's going to go up. 200 passengers. We're still holding on. 100 passengers. Oh. Yep, we cleared them. Okay. So that's good now. It means the passengers from here are going to... The quality is going to go up. Well, it's just gone from very good to excellent. So there we go. It can go up 1 more to outstanding. But for the time being, that's good enough for me. Let's have a look down at Mir. What have we got here as well? We've got docks here. We've got docks here. We've got more docks here. Oh, we've got a nice little trio of docks here. So we've got boats going from here to here, boats going from here to here, boats going from here to here. And then we've also got boats going from here to the fishing points as well. So it's a nice little circuit for all the boats. They're all making money. I've got a couple of cargo ships picking up the fish that are being produced here from me dropping off the passengers. So it's a nice little circuit of mid-boats. Onto the local authorities, outstanding for us all. Wonderful. Airports. Let's have a look. Airports. Let's go up here. So we've got King's Landing. We're back up to 500 passengers. Aircraft has an invalid order. Ooh. No, it hasn't. It's good. Shush. It's fine. Ship 11 is getting very old. 33 years old. It's still making money though, so I'm just going to leave it. The reliability for ships and boats and buses and any type of vehicle, the older it gets, the reliability goes down. Eventually, it essentially just becomes 0, which means that it basically comes out the depot and just breaks down and constantly breaks down. So the amount of money that the vehicle will make will go down. So sometimes it'll just pop up down here saying the running profit for vehicle so-and-so was negative amounts last year. At that point, it's normally a good time to consider just swapping the vehicle around. 2,000 passengers now? Okay. Wow. That really went up. Right, so we're going to have to step up the plan here because this airport has just become very, very popular. So let's get some more aircraft in here. We'll get 1 going to Mir. What are we looking at like over here? 1,000. So I'm gonna go for another 2 here. Oh, delete. Go to here. So and we'll duplicate that plane, and then we're gonna get another one to go to here, and then go to. You know what? There's a hotel over here, so we'll use the hotel. We're moving all the passengers here, but at the end of the day, we also want to get passengers out of there. So we'll just do one. No, not to the hangar. Go to the airport. We want to get passengers out of there, so we'll use these 3 large capacity planes, but we'll also pick up some fast planes. So Dinger 1000, so you can see they go 2,329 kilometers per hour. These ones are pretty much a standard 952 no matter all the way across. Even the super large ones are still 952. So they've got a nice kind of cruising speed. The Dingers, they go really, really, really fast. They are really expensive, but they go really, really fast. So they're good for moving passengers between long distance airports. So we've got one airport here, and then we've got another airport down here. And we've just broken 2 billion. Yay. The airport that was down here that we had very low quality service, this one here, is now up to 3,000. We're up to mediocre now instead of very poor. So we're going to set up a few aircraft to go between here and here. They only move 100 at a time, which is 130 passengers at a time, which isn't the greatest thing in the world, but let's get a lot of them. I'm just going to spend so much money right now. That'll do. Right, let's go back to here, and let's start them all off. That should, there we go. The running profit was minus 39,000. This is unfortunately oil, so I'm not going to be overly bothered about that because of the money that's being made by the other vehicles as a result of them moving oil. So that's fine. Road vehicle was negative 134. What's this chap moving? Food. That's fine. Again, he's making towns bigger, so I'm not overly bothered. Look at all these dingers now just popped out, filling up with people. Still got 2,500 passengers here. Let's see how well it makes an impact on it, if it does at all. So we've got the big old planes loading up first. Back to 2,000. Hopefully this should also make the ratings go up. At the moment it's mediocre. Because I've made a bigger airport, more people are coming. And I'm not dealing with those larger volumes right now. Until these planes take off at least. And away he goes. So more of the super big planes. Lovely. 400 people to go. Right, now it's the smaller ones, the 100 to go. 130 to go, I should say. I've got one large plane sitting here waiting to load up. Down to 1,400, that's alright. I like this. How many more planes have we got to come out? We've still got 4 more to come out, that's fine. I think it's going to be... We're probably going to be sitting around good or very good, maybe. I don't think we're going to get excellent or outstanding. Because I think there's still going to be people... I say that, but there might be planes arriving. And at which time the volume of people is going to go down. There's still planes coming out, though. Loading up. 900, so we're down below 1,000 now, which is another good objective. And... Come on, come on. Oh, we're going to spike back up to 1,000 now, I think. Plane away. He's going to load up. What's this plane doing? He's just waiting for a place to unload or unload. There we go. He's moving along now. Back up to 1,000. So this plane's finally going to unload and load up. So that's going to drop it down another 400. This one, come on. That's it. The hangars are now empty. So these are the remaining planes. Let's see how we look after. I think it's still going to stick around 1,000, so it's still probably worth me investing in some more aircraft again. Passengers, I think, in this game are the best things to move because they never run out. you end up with businesses closing down. So like the oil wells could eventually just run out of oil. And when they run out of oil, the business closed down. So you have to kind of refigure out your entire network if they close down. Passengers, you don't end up with cities exploding or cities from dying or the plague going around a city. They just persist. So they're the most reliable kind of revenue stream for you. Oil is a great moneymaker, which is why I did this, because it's just... You make so much more money, as you saw. Those trains were making $1.5 million a year. So they're worth doing just because of the volume of money that they make. Oh, look at all the planes now circling this airport. So we've still got 3,000 passengers here. Let's see if it makes an impact at this end. Oh, wow. So many planes waiting to land. Come on. That is a big square holding pattern as well. We've got 4 runways here, and we've only got, like, 1 plane on the runway. Come on, guys. You can land. There we go. Another one could be landing here. Yep. Lovely. Yeah, we've still got more planes arriving. Oh dear. For this place now, it might be worth me also opening up a train yard, maybe. What have we got along here? We've got Borash, which is only 651. And we've got Talos, which again isn't generating huge amounts of people. What we could do, we could set up a train line between here and Yunkai. We do have a boatyard down here. We do have a road going between these 2 places as well. Well, it kind of stops here. Huh. Maybe I should just finish it and connect it to Borash, and we'll set up some buses to go from the airport as well. In fact, I am going to do that. I'm going to set up some buses. So, let's turn transparency back on so we can see through some of these buildings. You got 2 settings of transparency. These ones you can see the building still, and this one just turns them off completely. So that one's the handy one to do when you're building along roads. I'm actually going to make a truck stop here as well, because I think I've got mail. Yeah, I've got mail here. So I put bus stations all along here. So let's do a road. Let's adjust the height of the land just along here. We'll connect the road between the back here and 1, 2, 3, 4 is, there we go, this road here. We'll connect this one down here. There we go. And we'll turn it here and connect it along here. There we go. What's this place? This is requires building materials. Huh. I don't think I've got anything producing building materials right now. We'll leave these for now. So let's put loads of bus stations. Loads and loads of bus stations. Bus stations for days. All along here. There is a building there. Okay, no problems. We're going to put 1 truck stop just here as well. Oh, it's part of the airport. Ah, okay. Fair enough. It's just because there's a radar on this side. Yeah, there's nothing on this side, that's fine. Can I get away with the truck stop here? No, I can't. That's fine. Let's just demolish that. Right, and let's set up. So let's have a look. Bus stations. We're going to do bus stations from here. We're going to set one up over at this airport as well, because I just think it's just good practice. It's not going to be as many bus terminals, which is fine. So let's turn this road, and we're going to turn it this way. Can we go down from here? No. Okay, so we need to. It's going to be a bit of a funny loop. So we're going to go this way, then we're going to turn back, and then we're going to go down. Unfortunately, vehicles don't like changes in heights as well, so it's one of those things. We'll deal with it when we have to. So they accept passengers along here, so that's brilliant. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a bit risky putting them there, but well, why not? There we go, and we'll put them along there as well. So this airport now takes passengers and it takes people. We've got a dock down here. What's this? Oh, jeez, that's a lot of passengers. Right. It might be worth me destroying this here, and building 2 bus terminals here as well. Because there's large volumes of people to move there. And what's the dock like over here? Again, 3,000 people. Jeez. It's a wonder that this town doesn't actually just hate me because of the volumes of people that I've got outstanding to be moved around. Let's move down. What? Land sloped in the wrong direction. But it's going downhill. Remove. No, remove it there. Yes. Yes. Let's bring up the land here. This looks so dodgy. We're going to have a nice coastal road now. It's going to come straight out here. And it's going to come straight along here. To here. Where there is going to be another bus terminal. There we go. And let's finish off this road here. We don't have to worry about the bus terminals filling with people yet because the places that I'm building them on, I've also got people in them anyway. So they're being moved by other means for the time being. It's just the buses are going to supplement the other services that are running at the moment. So let's get this along here. Can we do a tunnel along here? It's going to be a really long tunnel if I can. No, it's just slightly out of angle, so we can do one here. Yeah, let's do that. It's going to turn... The monthly revenue thing pops up at the end and beginning of every year just to show you your running costs and the money you're making. At the moment, I'm still making money. As you can see, I've now made 100 million more than when I last commented on it. So I'm still making money. I could probably refine it down a little bit more. You can get like a breakdown on here if you want to see if you can see how much, like profit it's running. Last year, because we just started a new year, I'm not interested in the profit this year. So just looking at the profit last year, all of my trains, in fact, are now making money. So I'm not bothered about any of my trains not making money. Ships. Again, every single one of my ships was making money last year. Planes. I know that some of these planes are probably going to be below... Jeez, how many planes do I have now? I have 172 planes. Yikes. So I saw one of them there. Yeah, I've got 2 here which are moving oil. Weren't making money. That's fine. 3. Minus 40,000 again, moving oil. I don't mind. What's this guy doing? Moving passengers. Oh no, also moving oil. Again, fine, no problems. Right, let's finish off this bus stop, shall we? This one's probably going to be the furthest out I go because it's quite a distance away, so the bus is going to take a little while to get here. Where should we put the bus stop? We'll put 2... We'll go right in the middle of town, because why not? Bosh. Let's get some bus stations. Or let's get some depots, rather. Have I got some depots over here already? No, I haven't, because I haven't got any vehicles. So, let's put one up here. It doesn't really matter where you put the depots. It's just where the vehicles end up going when they need to go for a service. So, just having a couple conveniently located is always good. Alright, let's get new vehicles. Buses, buses, buses. Super bus. We're going to be deploying a lot of buses here. So, it's going to go to here. Still 3,000 passengers. Those extra planes have done absolutely nothing. The ratings have kind of gone up a little bit from very poor to mediocre at least. So it's had some sort of impact. Let's get these ones down here. So we're going to duplicate this one twice. That's fine. Then we're going to... The running cost for the vehicles is 0 for the time being because they're literally just sitting on the depot at the moment. They're just waiting for their orders. They haven't actually been assigned a driver per se, so there's no running cost to them right now. So we'll pick up some passengers here and go down to the docks. Now there's one station here. Now I normally do 4 buses per terminal, I think is a good number. So I'm going to go 8 in total. So by the time the 4 have loaded up and the next 4 are on their way, it should be a nice little route for them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's some more vehicles. Because there's a lot of passengers both at the docks, 3,000, and at the airport, 3,000. We'll get another bus going from. We'll actually move from the airport to the docks over here. Yunkai docks has still got another 3,000 people here, so let's go for another 8 again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fine. Close all these. This is going to be a horde of buses arriving. New vehicle. We'll go for a super bus. I'm actually going to do 4 going from here to here. So from Yunkai docks to Miran docks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine. And I think it's going to be worth me. I've got here getting some buses to go from the docks here to the airport. As I've got so many. Oh, I need to connect the road here. As I've got so many people both waiting at the dock, and not a lot of people at the airport. So I think it's going to be worth moving them from the dock to the airport at least. So let's go for another 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need to move some people from the airport down to the other depot and then the nearby town that we want to start growing. So we'll go recycling depot. The town is not growing. That's fine. We want it to grow. So this one, did I give him orders? Yeah, he's got orders. So I need another new bus. New bus. New bus. Go from here over to here. And we'll go for 4 of those as well. 2, 3, 4. Right. This is the fun part. Pressing the go button and watching the hordes of buses leave the bus depot on the way to their new destination. Look at them go. Meep, meep. Oh, wow, there's no connection up here. Let's adjust this a little bit. We'll put in a connection here. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Wow, this is a really dodgy... This is a really dodgy layout. Ooh, can we connect between there and there? Bearing in mind I can't see... No, there's probably buildings there. Can I put a bridge? Nope. I can't see the buildings, so there's quite a good possibility that there's actually buildings there. So these are nicely filling up now. There we go. People filling up. Come on, buses. They're still coming out? Nope, they're all out now. So, look, and still I haven't used up all the bus terminals. That's brilliant. Bus is still going. Oh, we need to change this bridge. It looks like this bridge is slowing them up. It's probably a town-built bridge, which means it's probably not the fastest in the world. It's dropping my vehicles down to 32 kilometers an hour when they could be running at well over 100, 120. Yeah, we need to change this bridge. Or they could just go around it. Right, let's change this bridge. Come on. No vehicles. I'm going to have this one coming up, this one coming up. That's fine. I might be able to do it now. Come on, buddy. No, this guy's going to zoom in. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah! Build a new bridge. Tubular steel, maximum speed. Spot on. Right, so these guys are coming down here. Oh, look, we've already had a bit of a congestion here. That's fine. The buses will sort themselves out. So, unloading. How much money are we making? We are making 5,000. Not too bad. For a nice little short trip. the operational costs on buses is actually really, really low, which is why it's normally the thing that I like to start off with. So 5,000, did you see there, isn't a huge amount of money, but the running cost of the vehicle is normally so low that that's actually quite a nice amount of profit to be making. Running costs, see, there you go, is 6,000 per year. So I'm making 5,000 per trip. So essentially, after call it 1.5 trips, 1.25 trips, the vehicle has made its money back. As you see here, the planes here are making 85,000. Let's see how much one of the fast planes makes. Actually, I'm curious to know. We're dropping off passengers here, which from here to here is 1,000 again. 5 trips, you're going to do that well within a year. We'll probably do that within 1 month. So after 1 month, the running cost of the vehicle has been made up, and I'm getting another 11 months of profit. So happy days. So the fast plane there made 250,000. So yeah, it's definitely worth doing. Marine Exchange has still got aircraft circling, waiting to land. Still 3,000 people. Oh, we're back up to good now for passengers. Mail's at least excellent. We've got our 2 buses gone down here. There we go. Borash. We've had 7 passengers this month. Wow. Go, guys. I'm just genuinely surprised that Yunkai, with 11,000 people, they've all ended up at the dock for some random reason and not the airport. Maybe Yunkai's got a thing for boats. I could start running helicopters around here, you know, as well. Dropping people off by helicopter at the dredging sites. Citizens celebrate, first bus arrives at Yunkai Airport. Road vehicle is getting very old and urgently needs replacing. First bus arrives at the recycling depot. New iron mine under construction near Borash. There we go. We've immediately triggered something new being built, which is great. Iron mine. Iron is metal. Iron mine produces iron ore, and it requires metal and chemicals. So, have we got anywhere that refines iron ore into metal? What's this? That's a furniture factory. That doesn't do my job. Paper mill? Nope. Recycling plant? Nope. What we got down here? Bauxite mine? Nope. Requires metal as well. So I need somewhere that refines this metal. So let's have a look at the display chain here. Display chain? Steel mill and ironworks. Okay, have we got any of those nearby? Steel mill is in grey. Oh, we got one over here. So these guys weight iron ore, coal, and scrap metal and produce metal. Okay, so I need to find sources of coal and scrap metal. Coal mines, surprise. Link to the map. Coal mines are in black. There is no coal mines. Nuts. Well, shucks. There's a coal mine down here, and there's a coal mine on this island here. Why'd you put a coal mine on the middle of nowhere? That's very restrictive. Oh, man. I could totally run a boat up to there if I wanted to. Sorry, up to here. From here down to here, but it would take so long that it's probably not worth doing. Can I run a cheeky... How big is a bridge that I can make on my railways? Can I make a really, really, really long bridge? Or is there a limit? Oh my god, I could totally run a train line across there. Oh my gosh. It's a 1.2 million bridge, but it would work. Oh wow. So I am going to save this here for now. I'm going to no doubt continue. I'm now up to 2.27 billion, which is fine. I'm still making money. I made 152 million last year. I'm I'm only in December now, and I'm at 164, so I can see that the new planes that I've invested in and the new buses I've invested in have made up their money. As you can see on here, it does give you a breakdown to say aircraft running costs, vehicle running costs, and then new vehicles. So I spent 13 million last year, and even with that 13 million deficit, I still made more money that year than I did the previous year. And this year I've spent another 1.4 million mainly on buses, and you can see here I've already jumped from 138 to 152, now to 170. So it's going to be another good year for me. I've repaid all my loan. It's one of the first things I recommend doing. I now have 815 tiles of monorail, 101 of railway, 0 of maglev, 196 signals, 141 road, 81 canals, 265 in airport tiles, and 14 airports. There you go. Right, well, that is going to do me for now. I'm going to splice this into my other video, so hopefully you'll get to see a kind of building in progress and building completion. There you go. At the end of that year, I made 177. Happy days. Right, I shall see you all in the next video. Adios.